next thing I always do before it's going to be into the interior, but I want to do the Daggerboard trunk first. And I take some cardboard and lay out my designs and my ideas on that, and then I'll go ahead and then cut out. I'm going to have tapered blocks coming in because I like to have my seats have a slight taper to them as they come into the top. It gives them a little bit more visual aesthetic pleasing than just vertical sides on the seats. So I've got my block set here. I'm going to go with a 10-inch Daggerboard, and it's going to be a lot longer, probably about 3.5 feet in the water. So it's going to be 4.5 feet long, maybe a little less, but by 10 inches, probably 9 7/8 or whatever. So I've got that in, and I've got my two pieces of 1/4-inch plywood cut out, and I will. Don't feel on something like this. Be afraid that I'm going to be using a piece in here. I had some scrap, and I was just a little bit off, so I'm going to set this in. But on the top edge, I always put in a piece of 2x2 along the edge to reinforce it, and then also to have something for when I put the seat top in to screw down into. So that little piece of plywood will just set in there, and I'll epoxy it all together. And then also the insides of these things will get a coating of glass, and we'll get to that later with putting in the glass and all that kind of stuff. But I just wanted to get you to this part. Next, I put these together yesterday. Basically, I have my two plywood panels, strips that go on top that the top seat will screw down to give us some support, and then the separators for the case itself. I cut out all the pieces from out of my I remember I do everything on cardboard, and it helps too if you do it yourself. I try to get as many views as possible of any single joint. And I was just taking takeoffs half an hour ago of this part before it gets hidden. But be sure that you know what you're doing when you're cutting these up. It's pretty simple. It's basically a couple triangle points. Notches cut out up here will be for where the 2x2s that go side to side will get notched into, and they'll fit something like this later on, but they'll be notched in so that the gap won't be there. So now, before I put this together, I'm going to put a layer of 6-ounce cloth. I got some leftover 6-ounce cloth from a while back on this, and then a layer on here, and then I'll put in probably 1 or 2 weave fills after I get them wetted out, and then I'll gel magic them together. This one, the fiberglass will come up right to the edge, and I'll trim it off. This one, I will roll the fiberglass across the bottom and up the side and just above, and then I'll trim it off flush with this surface. And so it'll gap up or meet up with the one and this one, and then the gel magic between the two layers of wetted on fiberglass will seal it off. So that's what I'm going to do, and let me put the glass on and I'll be back. Okay, I've got my silver tip mixed up. I've got probably a 1/2 ounce and a 1/4 ounce, so give me a 3/4 ounce total mix. When I'm doing these kinds of little things, I don't make them too big because this stuff goes a long way. I've got my panels already cut out, and I've already sanded. Remember, we're going to make certain that we don't have any little nits or whatever, hard things on the edge, so make sure you sand it off every time. And so let me get down here and just pour a majority of it out. Whatever we don't use this one, and just start moving it around from the center outwards. You can see how it's wetting out already. And be certain that down everywhere. Looks like I'll probably have a little bit left over. Just take it out to the dry spots. And whatever else you have will be absorbed by the excess cloth, okay. Since this is not going to be hidden and I don't care that much, and I can see by the glint that I'm getting on it that I have a fairly even coat, and I don't have any big runs or gobs that I have to roll out. I probably wouldn't roll this out anyway. So this one's done. Set it off the side, let it cure. Okay, I'm going to thank AARP for giving me this nice card. I'll go ahead and use that to, whoa, we'll get back in here. Don't waste the epoxy. When you're trying to get the corners in there, put some excess in so it puddles up and really starts wetting it out quickly to where it bleeds through the cloth a lot faster than if you were just bringing in little bits at a time. And scrape in the excess from across and bring it up on the side of the 2x2 here. Always have lots of plastic down. Get out of the way here so you can see what I'm doing. Let's dribble everything we've got over to the side. And just leave your tools there and let them drip. Okay, pretty much done. We'll call it that. Just keep moving any of the excess over to any spot that looks dry, or just trying to lift, and then go back to the one we did first, and then to see if it's still setting okay and nothing's happening wrong at the lid. So we'll come back tomorrow when this is cured, and we'll trim it up and gel magic the two halves together.